Hey guys, Max Rich here, and today we're talking about seventh chords. And generally there's four main types of seventh chords. I mean, there are others, but there are four types of seventh chords that make up 80 to 90% of seventh chords that appear in music. Seventh chords are super important. If you don't know what seventh chords are, I'm not going to necessarily take the time in this lesson. I have in other lessons, so you could check out some other lessons I've done on seventh chords. But this exercise today is mainly to teach you the shapes of all four seventh chords, and so that you can instantly play them all over the neck, right? So if you find yourself playing up here in A minor, you don't need to jump somewhere else to play a seventh chord. You can play it right there. And what I mean is I don't just mean a dominant seventh chord. There are four main types. There's a major seven, a minor seven, a dominant seven, and a minor seven flat five. That last one, minor seven flat five, can also be called a half diminished chord. And so once again, I'm not going to necessarily go through the theory behind all this, but there is another lesson, and you can find it on my page, that will go through the theory about all this kind of stuff. This one is more of a practical application, and how do I start playing these chords now, today, right away in songs that I like. And basically, what we're doing, we're dealing with four-note chords, right? Chords are made up of odd intervals, so like 1, 3, 5, and in this case, we're adding a 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, right? So if we're going to do this in the key of C, if you take the 1, 3, 5, 7 of C, that would be C, E, G, and B. Right? 1, 3, 5, 7. Right? Now, what I'm going to do today we're talking about how to play these chords. In this case, we're going to play them on root notes on the 6th string, root notes on the 5th string, and root notes on the 4th string, so that you can play them all over. We're not going to cover inversions. We're going to cover basically root notes being in the bass and real common chord progression, or real common chord shapes. And so what we do, if we're looking to play a C major 7, we're going to go up to the 8th fret of the low E string, and we're going to skip the 5th string. We're going to go to the 4th string and play 9th fret, and then underneath that we're going to put our pinky, so we're playing first finger on 8, skipping the 5th string, ring finger on 9, pinky on 9 on the G string, and then middle finger on 8 on the B string. So that's... Right? Now, this is not necessarily in 1, 3, 5, 7 order. The root note, the 1, is in the bass, and the others are sort of jumbled up. So you have 1, 7, 3, 5. That's technically the order, in ascending order, of how this chord is structured. Okay, so now, we have this chord, and this chord is only one note away from another 7th chord, and that is a dominant 7th chord. The only difference between a dominant 7 and a major 7 is that the dominant 7 has a flatted 7th, right? So in this case, we're playing C, B, E, G. C, B is the 7th. So if we wanted to flatten that 7th, that would make it 8th fret. So we replace that 9th fret with our ring finger with 8th fret with our middle finger. And then we take our ring finger, which is now free, and we put it on the B string where our middle finger was a second ago. So now we're playing 8, skip the 5th string, 8, 9, 8. And that's C, B flat, E, and G. So that's only one note difference, C major 7, C dominant 7, otherwise known as C7. Now, C7 is only one note away from the next 7th chord, which is a minor 7th chord. Now, a minor 7 chord is basically a minor triad with a minor 7. So basically, we have a minor 7, we've got the root, the minor 7, the 5. The only thing we need is the 3 to be flattened. And that 3 is where our pinky is. G string 9th fret. So if we were to flatten that, it's like really awkward to squeeze all your fingers into only one fret. So what you do, you reposition, you put your middle finger on the bass note, C, and then you bar your ring finger across the D, G, and B strings. And that's your minor 7 chord. That's C minor 7. 1, 7, 3, 5. So that's C, B flat, E flat, G. So we went from C major 7 to C dominant 7 to C minor 7, and then the last one is C minor 7 flat 5, otherwise known as half diminished, C half diminished. And the only one that we haven't flattened yet, well, we're not going to flatten the root note because that would be too weird. We're going to flatten the 5th. It's a minor 7 chord, flat 5, minor 7 flat 5. So which one of these is the 5th? It's the B string. So if we want to keep the other 3 notes and flatten that B string goes from 8th fret down to 7th fret, and then we use our ring finger and pinky to play the 2 remaining notes that were underneath our bar a second ago. So that's 8, skip the 5th string, 8, 8, 7, like that. So we went from C major 7 to C dominant 7 to C minor 7 to C half diminished, or minor 7 flat 5. Now here's the real cool part. Basically, if you take your middle finger and put it where your first finger is, and now I take my first finger and I put it on the low E string, 7th fret, I have the entire sequence again a half step lower. Now I'm playing B major 7, and then B7, and then B minor 7, and then B minor 7 flat 5. And then I reposition, my ring finger and pinky stay there, now I'm on B flat major 7, B flat 7, B flat minor 7, B flat minor 7 flat 5, A major 7, A7, A minor 7, A minor 7 flat 5, and on it goes. You can really scale this all the way down. So the way I would practice this is I would take it and I would maybe do four strums, or in this case I'm using my fingers, like strum the chord or pluck the chord 4 times and then switch without taking a break in between. So you may have to do it a little slower than I'm going to show right now, but do it slowly and it'll work, and you'll begin to recognize these shapes and fall into these shapes on a regular basis. So basically, you saw me go from C major 7, C dominant 7, C minor 7, C minor 7 flat 5, and then to B major 7, and then on we go. I scaled all the way down to G. You can keep going. And that's basically going to be the structure for the next 2 sets. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it on the A string now. So we're going to go to the A string, 3rd fret, to get our C major 7. We basically play C on the A string 3rd fret, ring finger on the 5th fret of the next string, middle finger on the 4th fret, and then pinky on the 5th fret. So that's, there's no string skipping in this one, so we're basically just going from the A string to the B string, frets 3, 5, 4, 5. And that's our major 7 chord shape, and we're going to follow the exact same pattern. So in this case, the order of the, the inversion is a little different because our root note is still C, but then we play 5, 7, 3. So it's slightly different than the last one. Which means in this case, if we're going to flatten the 7th, which gives us a dominant 7, that's our middle finger on the 4th fret. So we bar the 3rd fret and just take off our middle finger. That gives us our C7 chord. Now if I put my middle finger on the B string 4th fret and get rid of my pinky, now I'm playing my C minor 7. So that's 3, 5, 3, 4. And then the final one, minor 7 flat 5, I take my 5, which is my ring finger, and if I flatten it like that, it's a little awkward, right? So what I have to do, I have to kind of reposition, but this is going to be beneficial in a second. So what I do, I have to basically play, right now I'm playing 3, 5, 3, 4. But what I need to flatten this 5. So I need to go 3, 4, 3, 4. So I stagger my fingers, all of them. I'm using all 4 fingers to play 3, 4, 3, 4. 3rd fret, 4th fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret. And that's my C minor 7 with a flat 5. That 5 got flatted. And then here's the real cool part. I take my C, my root note, and just move it back a half step, and I'm doing the same thing a half step lower, B major 7. Take off my middle finger and bar. Now I have a B7. Replace my pinky with my middle finger on the B string, B minor 7. Reposition everything so I'm playing 2, 3, 2, 3. Now B minor 7 flat 5. Take my first finger, drop it back a half step, and I'm at B flat major 7. B flat major 7. Get rid of my middle finger, put a bar, B flat 7. Replace my pinky with my middle finger, B flat minor 7, and then I do this whole staggered position once again, 1, 2, 1, 2, B flat minor 7, flat 5. And you know, I could continue, but I'm kind of running out of room. You could do it all the way up here, but idea is you could just grab this anywhere. So let's go up to the 8th fret, F major 7, and then get rid of my middle finger, get rid of the pinky, and then stagger, and then drop the root note back, get rid of the middle finger, replace the pinky, and stagger. E flat major 7, E flat 7, E flat minor 7, E flat half diminished, D major 7, D7, D minor 7, D minor 7, flat 5, and on we go. So we have those 4 main 7th chord types on 2 of the 3 root note strings. So we've got it on the 6th string, we've got root note on the 5th string, the last one is root note on the 4th string, on the D. So we go to C, up here, on the D string 10th fret, and basically I'm playing 1, 5, 7, 3. So technically the same type of inversion that I was playing a second ago on the 5th string, but it's a different shape. So we're on the 10th fret with my first finger, and then I'm barring the top 3 strings on the 12th fret with my ring finger. Like that. And now I need to flatten the 7th. So in this case, the B, this one's nice and easy because it's on the 12th fret, same as the open strings. The B is the B string. So I just flatten that to the 11th fret, which means I need to reposition and put my pinky on 12. So now I'm playing 10, 12, 11, 12. Like that. After the C7 comes the C minor 7, which means my 3rd, my E, needs to become an E flat. So my pinky, what I do is I get rid of my pinky and I bar my middle finger, like just kind of like, it's like a weird little hinge bar where I'm only barring 2 strings. So I'm playing 10, 12, 11, 11. And that's my C minor 7 chord shape. Now here's the next one. I have to flatten my ring finger, the G, which is the 5 of the chord, to get my minor 7 flat 5. So instead of scrunching it back like this, I just take off my middle finger, slide my ring finger back, and bar. So now I'm playing 10, 11, 11, 11. Which is nice because the next chord is a B major 7, so all I have to do is slide my first finger back. And I'm on B major 7. I flatten the B string, which is 9, 11, 10, 11 now, so to give me a B dominant 7. Then I flatten the high E down to the 10th fret, so now I'm playing 9, 11, 10, 10 for my B minor 7. And then I get rid of my middle finger, bring my ring finger back, and bar it. So now I'm playing 9, 10, 10, 10 for my B minor 7 flat 5, and then continue onward. like that. So now you basically have all 4 of the main 7th chord shapes, but you have them on root on the 6th string, root on the 5th string, root on the 4th string. So no matter where you find yourself, you should be able to play a chord in that general vicinity of the neck that matches the chord that you need. And a good way to practice this is to take, so let's say we're going to do C. We're going to play all the C major chords, the C major 7 chords, in a row, 1 string after the next. So we're going to do 6th string, 5th string, 4th string. So it's a real good way of practicing making sure that you know those chord shapes on each string, is playing all the C major 7s. Like that. And then you pick a random note, and so maybe I just go on the 6th string somewhere, I'm not looking, so now I'm playing A flat. So now I'll play the next one, A flat dominant 7 everywhere. And so I don't have an A flat down there, I have to go all the way up here for A flat 7, and then I go back here for A flat 7. Right? And then I do the same thing with minor 7, so I'll pick somewhere else. So now I'm on E minor 7, right? And then the last one I'll pick somewhere else. Okay, B flat minor 7, flat 5. And that is a great way to practice all 4 7th chords. And you could take this and you can extrapolate it to songs. You could say, okay, each one of the chords in my song, I'm going to practice them as whatever. If they're a minor chord, I'll make it a minor 7. If it's a major chord, I'll make it a major 7. If it's a dominant 7, it's already a dominant 7. You know, so you can experiment and try to inject these. But the important thing is that you know them all over the neck. So you can grab them wherever you are. You don't have to constantly jump back and forth all over the place. And that is the key to being a successful chord playing guitar player.